Good morning, everybody. Just wanted to do another cooking episode today. Actually, it's morning right now. Um, I found this chuck steak for only $3.56, and I couldn't pass it up. So I'm going to be cooking this for breakfast and well, brunch really, and then possibly dinner. It's like really big, and I can't eat it all in one setting. So I'm planning on cutting it into two pieces and using part of it for breakfast or brunch, and then saving the rest for dinner, although I plan on cooking both, because I don't have the ability to store meat for very long, so I want to go ahead and make sure I get it cooked because I'll be eating today. The plan will be to have steak and rice for brunch, and then debating if I want steak and rice for dinner, or if I might go ahead and try to make Thai fried rice, steak fried rice. To cook this meal, I have my handy dandy rice cooker. I'm planning on cooking while I'm driving to the beachside. I'm currently at the Walmart on Merritt Island, and getting ready to head over to spend a day just chilling at the beach, maybe taking some pictures. Anyhow, these are the ingredients. We have the steak itself, a little bit of olive oil that I'm going to put on the bottom of the rice cooker pot that doesn't stick, and then this cheap steakhouse seasoning that I got from the Dollar Tree. It's like $1 for that whole thing, so it's and it tastes pretty good. I used it on my ribs before, and it was delicious. So all we're gonna do essentially is add a little bit of oil here. Okay, we're going to add just a little bit of olive oil so it doesn't stick. Okay. So once I've added the olive oil, I need to prep the steak. Alright, to prep the steak, all I did was just cut it right down the middle, because I'm going to have some for breakfast and then some for dinner. So I'm making 2 servings out of that one. So then we're just going to add some of the steak seasoning. That's what we're getting ready to do right now. Alright, so I got the steak seasoning right here. The lid open. Steakhouse seasoning. I'm just going to pour some on here. Alright. And I'm going to flip the steak over and do the other side. It's a little hard to cook here one-handed. You know, I'm missing all my forks, so I need to pick up some more forks. I don't know what the heck I did with all my forks. Using this last plastic one here, which I need to get more forks. I don't know what happened to my forks. Alright, we have all our seasoning on there. So then all that remains to be done now is just to basically put it into the rice cooker and cook it. Okay, as you can see, I've seasoned the steak. I put it into the rice cooker, and I plugged in the power cord. All that really remains to be done now is to start the system up so it can start cooking. Okay, to start the cooking process, I turn the engine on. Okay, so now the car is running and generating electricity, which we're going to use to cook. The electricity has been being generated by the car's alternator, or the van's alternator, and it's going up to the vehicle battery, and then from there it's being sent all the way back to our house system, which is activated by the switch right here. So to turn the system on, I flip the switch up. Okay, that's the new switch we installed. So it's up. So now the vehicle house battery or power system is connected to the van's starter battery system. So the system is on, but you'll notice the rice cooker isn't on yet. And that's because we got to turn on the, you can't see there. Whoops. But see, right behind there is our inverter, and that's what makes the magic happen. That inverter right now is hooked up to the house battery, the vehicle house battery. It's currently turned off. I'm going to turn it on. And you see the light came on and you heard it click. It's on now. And of course our rice cooker's on, because our rice cooker is plugged into the inverter. Not directly. Our inverter actually runs a cable to the back of the vehicle where there's a multi-plug outlet at the kitchen area. And from that outlet, I plugged in the small little white cable here that you see right here. So that little white extension comes from the back up to the front again, and then I have the rice cooker plugged in. So the system is cooking right now, but it's on warm. So we're going to turn it on high by pushing down the rice cooker, and you can hear the inverter's fan kicked on because it's pulling a lot of power. Now, cooking this way uses a lot of energy, which is why we do it when the car is running, or rather the van is running, and the system is connected. So that way the house battery doesn't drain down in like 1 minute or less. So the steak is cooking now, and then all I need to do is secure it with the lid so that it doesn't fly everywhere when I'm driving. Here my lid, you can see I just put the lid back on, and I had some bungee cords that went across on each side of the flip knob here, and that'll hold it in place. So the rice cooker is now on high and cooking the steak on one side. I think when it turns off, I'm going to flip the steak over and cook the other side, and hopefully that'll be enough to cook it. But we can check the doneness of the steak. Now you'll notice I didn't cook the whole steak. That's because it won't all fit in there at once. So meanwhile, I have the other piece cut up here, and I put it in here, and see it, you know, in my container. And I'm gonna put this here in my little refrigerator, which kind of keeps it somewhat cool. This is my little refrigerator up here. So I'm gonna clear out some stuff here and then make room for this so I can stay kind of cool, because I'm gonna cook this later. But for now, this is cooking. We're going to be heading over beachside because I plan on just chilling today, taking some pictures and just relaxing. I'm not going to do anything major today. And then I'll have my brunch, and then later on I'll use this other piece to make dinner. So stay tuned and I'll show you the results of our cooking efforts. That steak smells so good. I haven't left the Walmart parking lot yet, as you can see, but I've been cleaning up, getting rid of all the trash, the drink container, and straightening out the bedding in the back there. So I think it's important when you're in a small space to try to keep it organized and clean as best as possible, and as often and as much as possible, so you can find things and it's not a big mess. But anyhow, the steak is cooking on one side right now, and we're going to be I might flip it over and then start the cruise. So let me do that actually. I'm probably gonna flip it over, and I'll let it cook on one side and cook on the other. I'll wait till it pops and then I'll flip it. But anyhow, we're getting ready to head over to the beach side, and just gonna try to relax today and start my plan to earn some income. Alright, it's been a few minutes and we still haven't left the Walmart parking lot, but I went ahead and decided to flip the steak because it looked like it was pretty much done on one side. So I'm just gonna, and the heating element isn't popping up, so I'm just gonna head over to the beach now and then consider the steak done, and start cooking my rice to eat with it. So that's what we're gonna do now. Okay, I still haven't even left the Walmart parking lot. It's only been a few minutes later. I've been messing around on Facebook here using the free Wi-Fi from Walmart. But the steak looks like it's nearly done. I ended up flipping it over again, as you can see here. Whoa. I'm going to do this one-handed. It's a little dangerous here, but as you can see, it is like, whoa, looking so good. Steamed up on my lens here, but I flipped it over, and I think the warm thing is on, so it got hot enough that it's shutting off. But we're going to go ahead and cook the second piece while we're driving, and store this first piece because I didn't even get to drive. It cooked so fast. As you can see, I took the meat that was raw out of this container and put the cooked one in here. And I put the raw one in there to cook now as we start to drive, to take advantage of the energy we're expending anyways on the gas to go ahead and cook our food. Just wanted to point out something. I had raw meat in here, and now I have cooked meat. So that means this meat is cross-contaminated, meaning that if there were any pathogens, any bacteria and stuff on the raw meat, it's now on this cooked meat. So you really don't want to do that when you're saving meat, you know, like mixed raw and fresh stuff. But I don't really care about it this time, because this meat here that's in here right now, I'm going to save for later to cook again in my, I'm thinking of making Thai fried rice or something. So we're going to be cooking it again, so, you know, the fact that it got cross-contaminated isn't really that big a deal. It's just like having the raw meat in here. I'm going to cook it again a little bit later to hopefully kill anything that might have gotten crossed over. But meanwhile, we're going to let that big chunk of steak there cook, and we're going to go ahead and set it back on high here in a minute. And let me put the lid on here. Bring that thing over here. You know, gotta be careful about getting all that steam and smoke and stuff on my bedding. Otherwise, my area will smell like food. But anyhow, I'm gonna shut this camera off and just put the this bungee cord up here to hold it securely, and then start the cooking process. Save my meat here that's already cooked. I think it cooked in like 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. It did not take long at all to cook the steak. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and start to head out as soon as I put that back on high. And I'll show you the results when we get to the beach side. Just wanted to show you that I do have the safety straps back on here to keep the lid in place. And I have the unit secured again in the back there so it doesn't fly around. In the event that I get in an accident or something, this will kind of help hold it in place, the seat and all this other stuff. Just want to be as safe as possible. It is a bit unsafe to cook while you're driving, but you know, I think I have it somewhat secured and it should be safe. Hopefully it'll be safe. And the lid's on. So we're going to go ahead and head out now. As you can see, I've currently arrived at Ron John's. And just so you're aware, this side where I'm at right here, the side, north side of Ron John's building, these parking spots here have signs in front of them that say Ron John's free parking. Okay? I think that's important because that means that Ron John's is just giving you free parking over here. Whereas the signs over there at the other Ron John's parking spots behind the store itself, and behind me over here, out there, this big huge parking lot. I know you can't see it here from my van, but that says Ron John's customer parking. So make sure if you come here, you park at the part that says Ron John's free parking, not customer parking. Because if you park in the areas that say customer parking, you may get your vehicle towed. Anyhow, back to our cooking. As you can see, our second piece of steak is like looking really good. I'm gonna flip this guy over and just let it look at it. Oh man, doesn't that look great? I'm gonna flip that over. That looks so good. And probably shut it down and then get ready to, or put it on warm mode, and then cook my rice in the back, and then I'm gonna have a really, really nice breakfast. Or brunch. Well, it's still kind of morning, so it's probably breakfast, but I'm going to consider it brunch because it's going to be huge. It's a big chunk of steak and rice. Yummy. I've decided that since it looks like the steak is done and I don't want it to burn, I'm going to go ahead and unplug this unit right here. See that? Unplug that, and it turns the unit off. So I'm just going to let the steak here warm up in there with the unit off, and go ahead and start on my rice, which will be done in about 10-15 minutes, and I can have my brunch. Alrighty, so here we're gonna add our rice. I hope the wind's not going to make a lot of noise here. Make sure I have enough rice here, and then I'm just gonna add some water. That thing out of the rice. A little bit more water here. I think that's about perfect right there. I'm going to go ahead and start cooking our rice. Alrighty, to start the rice cooking, the first thing I need to do is obviously plug the unit in. So, this is keyed, I think. Alright, I plugged the unit in, which puts the rice cooker on warm. Yeah, it says warm right there. Then I'm going to put it on high. So it's cooking now. And I put the lid on it. And it should be done in about 15 minutes or so. And then I'm going to have my nice steak and rice for brunch. By the way, since we're out here and I just bumped my head again, I thought I'd post a little warning here for you. If you are like me and set up to cook from behind the vehicle, you may be used to the flat ground, but if you have a curb or something that you park by and you step up, you lose about 8 inches, and that means you can hit your head easily on this thing. So be very careful. It's going to take a while to get used to that. I've bumped my head several times and even caught it on another video, usually happening when I'm cooking or doing something back here. But just be warned that if there is a curb and it goes up, you really need to plan on ducking, or always duck every time you approach the back. Maybe that might be the safest thing, is to train your body to duck whenever you come back here, because that hurt. Hey everybody, so I've removed all the food from the vehicle. Here is our freshly cooked rice, our steak here, if I can open this without burning myself. Doesn't that look great? Show you here in the light. Doesn't that look delicious looking? So I'm gonna have steak and rice and a nice cold soda. Just thought I'd show you the food we're about to have for brunch. Isn't this awesome? It's like vehicle cooked food. Look at that steak. And that rice. So give me a lot of energy as I hit the beach today.